Hello, parents. Welcome to the Masterful Parenting Podcast. I'm Ann Alvarez, parent coach, school counselor, and mother of two. Do you sometimes struggle with your parenting role? Do you notice that sometimes you're repeating patterns that you learned in your own childhood? Maybe you are carrying childhood pain that has not been healed, and you notice that it is showing up in your parenting with your own children. Perhaps you yell or get frustrated easily. Maybe you are directing them or telling them what to do all the time, and you notice that your actions are affecting your relationship with your children. Well, parents, I totally understand this. I came from childhood pain and I learned how to be a relational parent with my children. And I can teach this to you as well. This podcast is all about learning how to heal the childhood pain that we are carrying so that we can foster healthy relationships with our kids. Join us every week for a new show, and we will dive into the healing and the fostering of healthy relationships with our children. Hello, parents. Welcome to the School of Humankind webinar on how internal messages affect our parenting. We're going to talk about our thoughts, what is happening with our thoughts, and how they can impact our parenting. Okay, so I'm going to start the slideshow, this screen a little bit bigger. Okay, there we go. All right, internal messages that affect our parenting. All right, first, before we start, I'm just going to introduce myself. My name is Ann Alvarez. I am the founder of Masterful Parenting program and a parent coach. I'm also a speaker, a podcaster, a show host, I have a YouTube channel. I'm a school counselor for over 16 years, and I am the mother of two boys, ages 25 and 15. And my passion is to help parents break the cycle of their childhood and learn how to be relational parents. Okay, the first message that we maybe have is I have to be perfect. I have to be perfect. I remember when I first had my first son, and I had been going through some postpartum depression. And when I went to see the doctor about it, she said, "You don't have to be perfect and you don't have to do it all." And that really resonated with me because I had this messaging. I have to be perfect. I have to be the perfect wife. I have to be the perfect mother. And it can lead to unrealistic expectations of yourself and your kids. And it puts this enormous pressure on you, which could result in burnout or guilt or overcompensating and also neglecting your needs. So, this is an internal messaging that is not helpful in your parenting journey. My child's behavior is a reflection of me. I call this personalization. When we personalize our children's behavior, and we make it about ourselves, but we should be making it about them because we need to figure out why they're behaving in the way that they're behaving. But when we say it's a reflection of me, then we create anxiety about how others are perceiving our child. And it may also cause over controlling or shaming our kids for their behavior when our children are struggling. Because what we really should be asking is, what does my child need right now? Not what are people thinking about my child, which is probably a messaging we got in society. Children should always listen and obey. Now, if you came from an authoritarian parenting model, which I did, the parent was always right, the child was always wrong, and you had to listen to your parents. And it is actually very damaging to have this kind of parenting style because when a child doesn't feel heard, a child doesn't listen to his or her internal voices, and it affects their self-esteem when we don't listen to how they feel. So they might suppress their emotions and their independence. They might rely on you too much because, I'm supposed to be listening to my parent. So I need to know what my parent wants instead of listening to ourselves. So this kind of parenting, this kind of messaging is actually not helpful if we want to raise confident kids. I'm doing it wrong. I'm not good enough. If you've come from childhood pain where you've had some dysfunction in your family, or maybe you went through some kind of trauma, or maybe you were parentified, and I'll get into a little bit about what parentified means. It's when um, a child takes on the role of a parent in meeting the parent's needs. And if you're saying, I'm doing it wrong, I'm not good enough, these are self doubts that often arise from comparison or past trauma. And it can cause hesitation, inconsistency, or overly permissive parenting. Because we're not parenting from a place of strength, we're parenting from a place of inadequacy, not feeling good enough, being hard on ourselves, not having compassion. And these self doubts are not good for our kids because our kids learn to doubt themselves. And also, our kids are not sure what's happening, what are the rules, especially if there's permissive parenting or inconsistency, then our children are confused. I need to make up for my own childhood. So maybe you had some issues in your childhood and you overcompensate. Maybe your parents were very frugal. And so then you overcompensate by spoiling your children because you didn't have everything. Or maybe your parents were too strict. And so then you are overly lenient with your children, or you have a lot of fear. You want to protect your child because you are not protected. Okay. And sometimes this leads to placing our emotional healing in the hands of the child because now the child is the one that needs to take care of the parent. This is the parentification that I was talking about. When we are placing our emotional needs on our kids, right? Um, because we didn't get it. We didn't get the love and the attention from our parents. And so then we give that job to our kids. We say, give me some love and attention. How come you're not kissing me? Hello. Those sorts of things. So we have to be very, very careful that we're not using our children to fulfill a need that wasn't met in ourselves when we were kids. I must protect my child from every struggle. Okay, this is like really, really damaging. It's what we call helicopter parenting, right? Where you're always in your kid's face, doing everything with them. You don't let them have any time alone. You don't let them have any independence. And so they get the message that they can't do it. That's actually what you're telling your child when you are doing everything for them or hovering around them, or getting into their business and not involving them. So it's really, really damaging on self-esteem and resilience because kids need to make mistakes. They need to fail sometimes. They need to problem solve things that are happening instead of parent rushing in to solve the problem for them. That actually is not helpful and does not um, raise healthy adults, or healthy kids who become adults, because then they become very insecure because they're used to someone coming to their rescue all the time. This can be super damaging. So we have to be very, very careful that we are not helicopter parenting. Okay. This messaging, if I don't discipline them, they'll turn out bad. This is a fear-based parenting. If I don't step in, if I don't punish, if I don't reprimand, then they're going to even be worse than what's happening now. So it's fear-based and punitive parenting approach, which I will tell you, parents, is damaging to our children. Okay. I personally am not a believer in punishment. I'm a believer in consequences. I think there are consequences that our kids will learn. Oh, you didn't bring your jacket to school and you got cold. Okay, that was the consequence. Or you forgot your homework and you didn't turn it in on time and it was late. Okay, so that's the consequence. You lost marks for your assignment, or your teacher was upset with you. Okay, consequences are okay. They make sense. In real life, we have consequences, but punishment. Parents, if you can just think about the word punishment, punishing your child when you're supposed to love your child doesn't make our children feel good, and it breaks relationship with them. Okay, so when we rush to punishment, we lose the opportunity to connect with our kids, right? We need to be able to connect with them, and then we show discipline. We model discipline in ourselves. Our kids watch us, right? So if we're showing discipline, we're getting up early, we're going to the gym, we're going to work on time, then they will learn that these are values that we have and that they can adopt these kinds of disciplines in their own lives. And then we give guidance. Okay, so fear, discipline is fear. Discipline is they are going to get themselves in more trouble if I don't step in and control the situation. But I'm going to tell you, parents, punishing is not the way to do it. And we can discipline our kids in a loving way by, by role modeling self-discipline in ourselves, but also involving them in the problem solving. Okay, so you did something. How do you think it should be fixed? You were late for school today. How are you going to fix that? Do you think it's a good idea that you're late? These are like powerful conversations we have with our kids that are so much more impactful than punishing. Okay, because then they have to think about it, and then we get buy-in from our kids because we've involved them in the discussion. All right, where do these messages come from? Well, they come from our childhood experiences. We are modeling what our parents did to us. We are repeating the pattern of that. And many times we get messages from our culture, you know, listen, obey your elders, and generational expectations. Okay, like greet everybody, um, follow the rules, that sort of thing. Sometimes it's from social media, what we see in social media. And sometimes it's from the trauma or attachment wounds that we have from our childhoods. And we can internalize messages from our parents and from anybody who maybe a teacher, someone that he was an authoritative figure in our childhood. So we have to be so careful. Where did this message come from? Ask yourself. And then, is it true? Is it valid? Did it help me? Having this message in my childhood, did this help me? Did it build confidence in me? Did it help me problem solve? Or did it just make me feel bad about myself, right? Because that's what these internal messages do, is they affect our self-esteem if we truly believe them. So we can heal it. We can change the generational expectations. We can listen to our kids and we can learn what is healthy so that we can foster healthy relationships with our children. Okay, so what can we do? Well, we can reflect about it. We can say, okay, why did I punish? Why do I have this message that I'm not good enough? And we can talk to a therapist or coach about your parenting triggers. I work with parents a lot about their triggers. And you can name the message. That's the I'm not good enough voice again. Oh, okay. That's that voice that I gave myself in childhood about I'm not good enough or I need to be perfect. And you can say that that doesn't apply anymore. I'm not that 6-year old anymore. I don't need to listen to that message. You can reframe it. I don't have to be perfect. I just need to be present. I just need to be involved. I just need to be there right now. Okay. Have compassion for yourself, parents. Now, parenting is an ongoing journey and get support if you don't have, you don't have to like solve this on your own. You can join parenting groups, you can get therapy, you can read conscious parenting books to help, and you can work with me. You can get help and support from me um, as I have been on this journey of changing my internal messages and practice self compassion because, like I said, this parenting business is a lifelong journey, right? We're always learning how to do things better, and nobody is perfect. There is no perfect parent out there, not even me. I am not a perfect parent. I'm a humble parent. I know I make mistakes, but I know that I'm learning and growing. And that's what's most important, that you're learning and that you're growing. Okay, so how to get support on your parenting. So I just wanted to let you know, parents, that I have a really great course. It's the Masterful Parenting course, and it is available online with weekly coaching. And I cover 3 units. So the first unit is healing your childhood. We're going to go into the story and we're going to figure out what were those internal messages that you gave yourself when you were a child. And then we're going to change them so that we can parent better. And then we're going to learn how to build connection with our kids because maybe our parents didn't connect with us very well. And we have to learn how to do that. And then we're going to learn how to communicate with our kids so that we can break the cycle of arguing and our words can be ways to connect rather than distance ourselves from our children. And I also do coaching, private one-on-one coaching and group coaching for parents. If they just want, specific help on something, then I can help parents with that. All right, now we're going to move into parent questions. But before we go into that, I just want to let you know that my email is masterfulparenting@outlook.com. And for the School of Humankind, you can check out my course. It is available there for you to sign up on. And for more information about me, you can go to my website, www.annalvarez.com. And I also have a podcast which gives a lot of free advice for parents and a YouTube channel where we do the videos of the podcast. So parents, there's lots of information and resources out there for you. I want to thank you for joining today, and I'm very grateful that you're here. And please check out the School of Humankind website as well, because you can get all of the webinars that I've done, plus our many esteemed faculties, their workshops as well that are really, really impactful. And you can keep up to date and sign up for our newsletter. All right, parents, thank you so much. I'm going to stop the video now so that I can take parents' questions. Thank you, parents, for joining the show today. I hope it was valuable and that you have some useful tools to use with your children. If this show blessed you or changed you in any way, I would appreciate a review on my podcast, or subscribe to my YouTube channel, or perhaps you could even recommend our masterful parenting to your family and friends. Thank you so much, parents.